to Alex Cabrero.
Yes, Alex Cabrero now joins us live there on the scene. Alex, tell us where you're at and kind of what the scene is at that location.
Yeah, Dan and Garner, right now I'm at about 300 East and 100 South. It's about 2 blocks away from where all this went down, but we're out in this location because this is where Salt Lake City Police said that they were going to talk to us here and answer some questions in a little bit and give us the latest information as to what they have. Garner, I heard you mention that you said that things were very tense at one point when police were running, chasing somebody, and Emma and I were maybe 20, 25 feet away from where the shooting happened. We heard the pops, we heard the shots, weren't really sure what was going on yet until we started seeing people running up the street towards us. We immediately took cover, and I got to tell you right away, there were dozens of Salt Lake City and other law enforcement police officers that got on this scene and started chasing someone into a parking garage and then into that location where you see the camera shot right now, which is about 200 East and 100 South. We are waiting for police to give us the latest information to figure out what exactly happened, what can be confirmed at this point. Garner and Dan, I heard you mention that the person who was shot is, I think you said critical condition. We're hoping that, if that remains critical or getting better, but we're hoping it's certainly not worse. But what we can tell you, at least from this vantage point, is, I was at the No Kings protest at the University of Utah earlier this morning at about 10:30. Very peaceful, very hot. Everybody was in a good mood, and it left peacefully. Then over here, when we started at Pioneer Park at 6 o'clock at night, everything was fine too. The march was fine, and they started doing laps here near the federal building, and that was fine too. It looked like it was tapering off, that people were starting to go home, when all of a sudden we heard those shots and people started running, and police officers started going after someone who we understand that they got on the ground here and arrested. So Dan and Garner, again, a lot of what we have right now is just hearsay. It's just from witnesses. As soon as we get a chance to talk to police officers, we will certainly get that latest information and pass it along to you.
Alex, real quick, you said you're only about 25 feet away or so when that shooting happened. Describe to us kind of were people running in a certain direction, or could you tell where the shots were coming from, and just tell us kind of a little bit more how scary that must have been?
It was right near in front of the federal building here. I think the Sky Apartments or the Sky Condos might be there, Dan. It was on, what is that, State Street there. And all of a sudden people started running this way. What is that? That is north. People started running to the north because the shots were coming from the south of us, about 25 feet away. A few people that were a little further south that were still part of the march, they were still chanting, "No Kings, USA, no Kings." They didn't even know what happened because it was so loud with the chanting and with the protesting. There were thousands of people here. So if you weren't in that immediate area, you might not have heard the gunshots because things were so loud on both sides with the protesting and with the chanting. But I think when people started seeing others running, that's when the chanting kind of stopped a little bit, just because why are people running? You know, that certainly gets your attention. And then the worst thing comes to your mind. They're running because something is dangerous. So instinctually, you take a second. Did I really hear what I think I heard? And then you realize I need to get down. Em and I, we hid. We got to a safe spot. We had to go up and get our photographer, Wesley Barton, who was even a little bit closer to where the shootings happened. He just dropped the tripod and he took cover as well. And then we see police officers running. We see the man that was on the ground that was shot and medics rushing to him to try to help him as quickly as possible. And then it was just pure chaos for a little while because what do you do? You know, honestly, what do you do, Dan and Garner? So police officers are directing us, keep making us go a little bit further north, get out of the crime scene, get out of the danger zone, just because at that point nobody had been arrested or detained just yet. So we were in the middle of it, and eventually they moved us about a block and a half out, and then some police cars going by here now, and then we hear that they do have somebody detained and arrested. That's when I think the level kind of decreased a little bit, the emotion, the adrenaline, simply because it looked like that the danger was over. And Garner, that's what I was mentioning. You said that it looked like we don't know if they're looking for another person, but certainly after that one person was detained, it certainly felt like the adrenaline decreased a little bit because the police believe they got their person. So it was tense, but I have to be honest, police were on it seconds, Dan and Garner, seconds. They were there. So I know a lot of people are thankful that they were there because, all week this is what law enforcement was worried about. They knew that the protest was supposed to be peaceful. The No Kings organizers told police all along that they're planning on it being peaceful. That's a big tenet of their organization, is to have nonviolent protests. But then when this happens, everything goes away. You know what I mean? There was an organizer with No Kings who told us this person has nothing to do with the No Kings organization. This is not what they wanted. This was somebody acting on their own, and they're saddened that this protest that they had is kind of dampened by the events that happened tonight. Dana Garner.